Hey, what's going down, GOAT fam? I believe this is number 23. Yeah, this is episode number 23. Man, time is flying. We started this just a few months ago, and every show we've had somebody on here with greatness, right? We've actually had somebody show up every time. We missed one person because of their power outage, but other than that, it's been 23 shows today, right? And I just want to say thank you for showing up each and every time and asking your questions and getting inspired by our students and the people that are real life stories of going through current situations that you may be going through. So I just want to say congratulations to everybody on show number 23. That's today. And we have a special guest coming on with us. His name's Joesph. And I've known this individual from the beginning. You know, I actually sold this individual the blueprints from Legendary Marketer when I first started. And this is the individual that helped me get motivated to do what I'm doing today. And, you know, he may not know that, but he was one of the individuals that after he bought the blueprints from me, I was still helping him on the side, right? And so, but for free, right? And so the thing of it is, he helped motivate and ignite that flame under my ass. So without further ado, I would like to invite our student, my friend, Joesph, to the GOAT Show, episode number 23. If you guys are catching this on that live, hashtag live on the replay, please hashtag replay. So you guys are in for a treat, guys. Let's roll. Joesph, what's up, man?
What's up, dude? How are you?
I'm doing good. Honestly, you know, it's been a road. It's been a long road, right? And we've kind of traveled it together from the beginning, but I'm doing all right, man. How is your day going?
It's good, man. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah,
thanks
absolutely.
for that intro, by the way.
Oh, hey, thank you very much. I'm getting better as I do it more, right? the more I do it, the better I get. It's kind of weird. It's crazy weird because when I first started this, I couldn't even figure it out.
Right.
But now that I've done it 23 times, it's gotten easier.
Well,
that's weird how that works.
That's kind of one of your tenets, right? Consistency.
There you go. Yep. That's going to be a topic today. Let's talk about consistency here in a minute. But either way, let's bring out who Joesph is. Who is Joesph? Right? Where were you at before? Where you're at now? And, you know, kind of like what direction are we going? You know, we're going to talk about what you're doing from home right now and how you've become so successful in what you're doing. And, you know, all of those different things to inspire other individuals out there, graphic designers, anybody that edits, you know, doesn't matter what it is. If you're on the computer and you like to be creative, Joseph's your man. So, Joesph, go ahead and let her rip, brother.
Right on. Yeah, no, I mean, I think what's crazy is that my background in advertising kind of reminds me of the whole reason why I'm here, and a lot of the stuff that you push in class. It's like, hey, Tammy. Oh, Christine's here too. Coming in advertising, you know, it's the same, you know, cry and depressing things that everybody talks about. Late hours, like constant stress and anxiety of trying to please clients, and I was, you know, a part of that, trying to please your art director. It was something that I was naturally decent at, and I was able to, you know, acquire and progress in a career. But after 10 years, it starts to take a real toll. And so what I had done was I had pivoted to what is UI UX, which is still like graphic design and stuff, but it's less of dealing with like McDonald's campaigns and Amazon campaigns, which I was doing previously, you know, coming up with words and looks at 2 a.m., trying to pitch to those clients. And then I moved to UI UX, which is more digital based, and it's completely remote. And what was so interesting there is for UX and UI design, which is essentially designing for websites, apps, and things like that. I'm currently doing that now. I'm remote and I'm doing less work and less hours, but I'm getting paid a lot more. And what's interesting there, and where I see sort of an alignment with PIB, and that was that once you go remote, you start to see the amount of time you have to be able to capitalize on all that extra, you know, those extra moments. And so that's what got me into PIB. I started to see you on TikTok, and I started to realize, you know, I'm getting paid more, working less. That can continue. Why not capitalize off that extra time and continue to generate even further income?
100%.
Yeah.
So you've become already a six-figure earner working from home, but not per se for yourself 100%. You still have somebody kind of giving you projects and stuff. But either way, you're a six-figure earner working from home with a lot of time on your hands, and you desired some more stuff, right?
That's it. You put it better than I did. That's really what my situation is. And yeah, I still have to answer to clients, and I still have to answer to certain managers, so that independence isn't entirely there.
Okay.
But it is sobering to know that, you can give so much time and so much of yourself at a certain pay level, and then you just relocate or do something slightly different, and that reality is completely gone. Like,
Right.
you gave so much of yourself and your time to someone else, and then you just kind of pivot a little bit, and now I'm working less, getting paid more. And with passive income, now I'm starting to realize you can take that even further. What if I do that, but like not even have to work for anybody? So there's
Right.
this gradual progression, that I just, it's constantly at the forefront of my, of how I do things and what I'm thinking about career wise.
100%. So by the realization or that little epiphany moment you kind of had when you joined Passive Income Blueprints, or even before that, because we met 2.5 years ago, almost 3 years ago now, right? When you started with the $7 program and you were inspired by me then, and you bought those blueprints, but then you're like, Eric, I'm still struggling. And I was like, I know, come and let me help you. But either way, now you've seen an opportunity, from what I'm understanding, is maybe stop working for somebody else. Can you get these contracts and these deals and be your own person, and maybe have somebody under you that does this work, and then you just delegate? Is that possible?
Yeah, it really is. It's absolutely possible. It's just, again, there's this comfort zone. I know what I can do. I'm a designer and stuff like that. So I still have a little bit of that employee mentality. There's some there with remote, there's a lot more autonomy and independence, which has been, I mean, really life-changing. Absolutely. I mean, I can't imagine, the amount of hours I gave away to an employer rather than, my family. And I will never forgive the corporate world for that. But now that I've had that sort of sober realization, that's constantly something that's driving me. So yeah, to your point, could I start to even take it further and then just start to contract others out? Yeah, that's possible. But in many ways, that's what I want to do here in passive income, is like just have that level of autonomy and independence and freedom by doing what we do here. And it's true, you did. We really do go way back. I mean, you were the guy that got me into this, doing your legendary days, which I still haven't 100% forgiven you for.
Well, let's talk about that.
No,
because,
but yeah,
because I thought I was doing a good thing.
You were, and that's the template to passive income. Like, you see guys like me, you sell me something, and typically those guys, which, some people don't ever want to name them, but I have no problem doing that. Legendary will pull you in, and then you're just left hanging. And so, I mean, how many people are in our group that have just been ghosted, and they needed some sort of help and guidance, and that was you.
85% out of 300.
Nuts. That's nuts.
Okay.
And you always preach is like, find a problem and then offer the solution. That's what you did, right? You found the problem of all these people in Legendary that could not get their stuff going, that were completely discombobulated and confused and overwhelmed. You realized, wait a minute, there's a problem here. And so passive income blueprints is that solution.
100%. But you know what? I felt bad though, because you know how you still haven't forgiven me, because during that time I thought I was doing something good. Yeah, I had a $7 product, but I wasn't realizing the full effect that $7 product was having on people until my calendar started filling up, right? And then I was having moms tell me that, the advisor had me sell my car or do a title loan on my car so I can get the blueprints, but now I'm left hanging. So now they're on my calendar saying, hey, you sold them to me, I need help. So then I felt obligated. So as I started getting my calendar filled with those people, dude, I started feeling like crap. You can even ask my wife. Like, it was hard for me to sleep. I was not feeling good about the product I was promoting. I made $45,000 in like 5 months with it. Just bow real quick. And all the people I affected ended up on my calendar. And then they ended up becoming over in Passive Income Blueprints and becoming lifetime, family members, right? But yeah, I do apologize, bro. I was unaware, right? I was unaware.
But I think, see, right there to me, capsulizes is why I think people gravitate you toward as a mentor. Because to me, and this is just my opinion, people who are in sales, I'm not necessarily sure that they're the most empathetic people. I'm sure that's going to offend a ton of people. But people who are there for the sell aren't necessarily there for the aftermath of what they do, right? They make their commission, 100%. They leave. You, dude, you had the heart to like take me aside and be like, book all these extra other sessions to help me going. And because I think there maybe was a guilt factor, and instead of, just leaving me hanging, you didn't do that. And now that's what this whole program is to me. This is the fundamental structure of this program. People are struggling. What can we do step by step to help them? And that's exactly what the template is of this program. So no apology needed. I mean, right, the Passive Income Blueprints is the apology, right? I mean, right, the fact that this exists, that's the solution to all this pain and strain that people go through. And I was one of them.
That's phenomenal, man. I'm just glad to see you still here, right? So now let's just, let's get past all of that stuff. We're here today, right? And we're doing good things. So you're still working from home, and I see you going live, right? And I see you're posting videos. And then before the conversation, you're like, Eric, what do you think it is? Like, what do I need to do in my business to get more traction? Now, it's consistency, right? And staying consistent. Not saying that you are not consistent, but maybe more on volume, right? And so I want to talk about, consistency today, because I know when you are consistent, you are consistent. Like as of a couple months ago, like you weren't, like you're kind of like here and there, but now you're showing up, right? And let's talk about that. What has like changed, and so far, like I know you're engaging more content and conversations, but not only that, your confidence level and what you're doing, because you can also teach other people what and you know a lot, but I think it's your confidence.
Bang on. That's exactly it. Sometimes when you first start this, you're told, and there's this pressure, you have to come into it and rush into it and act as an authority. And if you don't feel the confidence in what you're talking about and how to lay things out, talking about content, talking about messaging, self-branding, if you don't feel as though you can articulate that, you're going to stumble. And there's going to be this, and I dealt with this for sure, this crippling shyness of putting yourself out there, acting as an authority when you yourself don't feel like it, because maybe you're not at that point. So the consistency and the confidence, I think, go hand in hand, because as you start to do more, you start to do it more often, and you start to have that level of frequency, it does start to roll off your tongue more. You do start to feel as though maybe I know what I'm talking about, and you feel that imposter syndrome start to disintegrate.
100%.
And that's really, to me, where confidence comes from, is that continuation and that push to keep doing what you're trying to do until you become exactly what it is you want to be.
100%. Consistency builds confidence.
Yeah.
Boom. Right.
Yeah.
Love it.
I mean, I was struggling to, so a lot of people I've noticed will do the pointing. And I used to get a lot in my DM about, oh, I love the way your animations come in and stuff like that. But I wasn't there to be an animator. I mean, that was nice, right? And I like that people like the aesthetics. But what it really was, is the truth be told, is that was just a creative crutch, because I just couldn't bring myself to talk. I couldn't bring myself to speak in front of the camera. So I was coming up with all these creative ways with bubbles and messaging, but really it was just hiding behind it. And then once you just push through that agony and that shyness, you get out there and you realize there's no consequence. There's nothing bad. Even if I stumbled and I said and I fumbled and I wasn't very articulate, nothing bad happened. So then you try it again and you try it again. And now I can at least push out 2 pieces of content a day without that struggle, and the next goal is to get to 3, and so you see how progress happens. So as long as you just keep pushing forward and keep punching.
Right. And sometimes, as well, because like when I first met you, I'm like, this dude's going to absolutely crush. He's going to, right. Because you're not a bad looking dude. You're very well spoken. You have that image. You know how to handle yourself, right, when you're talking one-on-one. But then you're like, Eric, it's really hard for me to get in front of the camera. But I'm just blows my mind. But now that you realize that, stop hiding behind the bubbles, and there's no consequences, right? So that just shows, just be you. And then it's a beautiful thing, because people maybe from the outside or from the inside don't realize it, because they have, but limiting beliefs. But when you have a community like what we built here, they're gonna be like telling you, dude, go live, dude. We just had a conversation one-on-one, and just so on point. So then I see you jump on lives, and your conversations are so professional, I guess you could say, in a sense. And it sounds like you know a lot more than you actually put off, right? So I think you're being greedy and stingy without actually producing the content you should produce, truthfully.
Yeah, I hear you.
You got it, bro. You got it, 100%.
Yeah, no, I mean, I super appreciate that. I mean, it's always uplifting to hear your mentor say those kind of things. Yeah, I mean, the second you break that paralysis of overthought, things really start to happen. Just putting yourself out there seems really terrifying, and it really was for me. And there are still moments where I'm like, whereas with you, I see you just come in, you breeze into our mastermind, you go and you do like a plethora of content posts, then you're creating modules. And I just think, that level of energy isn't in every human, but that level of discipline for consistency can be. And so that's where a lot of that mentorship comes in, man. Just seeing you push and keep churning things out.
You see, okay, so I'm reading this book called Levels of Energy, right? And everybody's born with a certain level of energy, but we can change our level of energy based on our thought patterns, right? And the way we feel. So everybody's at a certain level. But either way, now you bring up the levels of energy. Yeah. So we all have different levels of energy, but we can raise those levels of energy, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's just it's truly a mindset thing, and the way we perceive things and the way we take things, right? It's the way we handle things and the way we express ourselves too. If we hold in anger all the time, or we don't express it when we do get angry, but not in a violent way, right? It brings our level down. So when we're able to express our emotions, it'll keep our level at a balance. I'm reading this book and it's phenomenal. It's called Levels of Energy. I don't want to go into too much more to it, but it's on point with what you're talking about.
Yeah,
bring that confidence up. So person's confidence level will raise because then their energy levels are raising.
That's
what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's the parallel I've noticed. Yeah.
Right. When you do it more consistently, right, your energy levels will raise.
Right. I mean, talk about a dopamine spike. When you start to see, people they'll put in so much time just for the vanity matrix, the likes. But once or the views, but once you start getting people in your DM, when you start seeing people that think you're legitimate or start to realize you are legitimate, then you start to see commissions come in. That's the dopamine spike. That'll spike your energy. And now you want to take it to the next level. And, hey, man, I saw where you started from LM. And I saw it started to work for you. I saw you when you were bringing in your office home. But we were on a chat while you were driving your home, your mobile home that you had just bought that you were going to convert into an office. Because and I just saw the energy in your face. Shit was working. You were starting to explode, and nothing was going to stop you from the momentum.
Right.
And now there you are in that house that I saw you pulling, which is your office. And now look at you. I mean, 500, K, 18 months. That's the story. You made it happen in such a short time. But I swear it was because of that level of energy, pushed by that momentum of success.
Right. And the fire. And then I want to take my hat off to a legendary marketer because they actually helped me motivate and implement that fire. Right. Because of the struggle that I've been through, I don't want to see anybody else struggle. So, I take my hat off to them, right? So the longer they stay in business, the more we'll grow.
It's true. And people, I remember when we were starting as a group to feel comfortable in voicing why we were a little disgruntled and why we came to Passive Income Blueprints. And there was this sort of like blowback of, well, why are you guys angry? And it wasn't smear tactics. It was truth marketing. We were just finally somebody was saying it and we all felt strong enough to say it. And you were leading that charge, being vocal about it. And that was pissing people off, but it was nonetheless the truth.
Yeah. And we weren't bashing. We just tell your story. Tell what happened with you.
Right.
And then when I was telling people that would come to me, still promoting legendary marketers, say, hey, I'm on day one. What do I do? How do I promote my content? Well, tell your story. Talk about what's going on through day one. Talk about what's going on day two. Talk about what's going on day three. Be honest. And that's going to relate with your audience. That's not talking crap. That's just you telling your story on your journey of becoming a new affiliate marketer. That's it. That's going to inspire and motivate other people if you're inspired and motivated about it. So if you feel good about what you're doing, right, it's going to show in your content, right? And then I guess if you could be one of some person selling snake oil, right, then you would feel good about what you're doing. Maybe you can't sleep at night. But either way, to each his own.
Right. Well, I'm glad you weren't one of those people. I'm glad you were losing sleep, and I'm glad it pushed you to.
I really was losing sleep.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt.
It pushed me to tear up my vision boards. I was tearing up vision boards. I was doing all kinds of madness because I was working on not even my own business, right? Like, and it got to that point where I wanted to throw in the towel, give up because I was doing 200 freaking calls a month.
Nuts,
dude. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, well, but I'm glad that there's been that instruction to be able to tell your story. Now, is it going to offend some people? Sure, but it's nothing that you're doing wrong. You're just retelling exactly what happened. This is where I came from. This was my struggle. I mean, I remember being so old. Like I'm like, I just paid more than I do my mortgage, and I got all these downloads, and I have no idea what to do. Where do I go? You're one of those few that didn't leave anybody hanging, and I'm ever grateful for that.
Brother, it's just the way it is, man. You're just, I'm grateful to have you just still here, right? So, now that you still have all that information, you can still use it, utilize the other stuff. And, it's not that it's bad information. It's just really hard for people to put together as beginners, and it's one of those things. but it's got to find a simpler process, something that's
Yeah.
not from 2016 or either way. But man,
And I've never seen a program like ours ever. Like, I mean, if you need a step-by-step, show and tell, hands-on guidance, I've never seen that in any other program. But this is how many brains work. Many people say, okay, now what do I do next? Now what do I do next? Okay, I've got my funnel. Now what about the autoresponder? Okay, I've got the autoresponder. Now what about my messaging? That's all there. And I can't believe that level of thorough instruction is fine. I mean, I don't believe it because you never see it, even though it's really what everyone needs.
100%.
And this is the only program that's got it.
Right. And so, I almost want people to go through other programs before they come to Passive Income Blueprints, so they can experience, truthfully, what is in there, and then what's in here. Not because I don't want them to spend or waste their money. It's because some people really don't know. So when they jump in here for the first time, becoming affiliate marketers, they're like, this isn't good. Right. And then they go to another one, they're coming right back.
Yep. I compare it to like an abusive or negligent relationship that you were once in, and you finally find a partner in which this is really fulfilling, and you're like, whoa, it's really it's clarifying to see, whoa, how shitty that situation was and what you're in now and how much better it could have been should you have been in this situation. 100%. That's how I see it. It's a bad relationship going into a positive one.
Yeah, and it is what it is. I'm not going to work on targeting LM because trust me,
we
get all of
them.
We get multiple income funnel. We get all of them coming to us as well, asking for help. But it's just because they're the biggest one. They're the ones we get a lot of the traction from.
A lot.
Yeah, there's a lot, like 90% of it or 85.
Yeah, and again, that's just the truth.
Yeah. What do you do? You're battling something that's either way, it's job security.
That's for sure. Yep.
But how many hours a day you put in right now with your current gig you have going on from work from home?
Dude, it blows my mind. I almost feel like I don't want to advertise this too loudly, but like since, the big C, since COVID, the remote, at least in my vertical, is kind of permanent. It's not like they're trying to drag lots of people back in this particular space. So I think I'm remote for life. So that really has allowed me to, I would say to answer your question directly, about 4 hours a day is what my yeah. And it's, and I'm not saying this to boast, but it's just amazing to me that it's a 6-figure position and I'm able to do that in 4 hours, which is then opens the door to do something like this. But what I've been able to do is they call it overemployed.
Overemployed, okay.
I've been able to have one full-time job and then kind of, have a second, and then try to fit this in. So when Tammy says remote is a blessing, it absolutely is. I mean, I can't think that I ever go back to that life of going into an office, being on a commute, having all those hours wasted from me. But those are the hours I get back. So to answer your question, 4 hours a day, and then between other contract jobs I do, because I've got the time, and then PIB. But as of late, because this has been so fun and because the confidence level has been there to create content and to see the traction happening, I'm starting to really want to focus more on this than trying to have all these other, let's say, a little bit more stable contracts, because this is always still a little bit of a risk because I don't know how it's completely going to pan out. We're not all making 50K months, but it's just so fun and there's just so much guidance. I can't pull myself away from not wanting to try this.
Right, for sure. But I could see you really utilizing this strategy that we teach and taking what you already know and actually just being your own thing, right? Being your own guy, and then just give these contracts to people and you do absolutely nothing with that business, right? Except for just maybe have a person, maybe if you have a CFO or whatever, CEO, whatever you want to have, right? Just to manage everything. And you just, give him a cut of like, 40K a month, or not 40K a month, but 40K a year, 50K a year. No, and just manage your stuff.
Well, I've started to see on TikTok, like designers start to get on, and it didn't dawn on me, well, how could I actually market what it is I do? And so this class gives me that skill set and those fundamentals to market anything, any kind of digital product. So now I'm starting to see designers and, people in my space put stuff out there and create their own content. And I thought, wow, now that really be a comfortable and familiar way to niche down the space I'm coming from that I lived in my whole career. I could now apply the PIB principles to that. And that's definitely next level and something that's always I'm thinking about.
For sure. And if you don't think that there's money on TikTok to have people purchase your product or service, you're wrong. Because I was at this convention is his market convention for 3 days. And there's a guy that's on TikTok that has a product that his minimum offer is 100K and 200K. And what he does is builds apps, right?
Yeah.
And so he targets people that are big corporations or big whatever, or big brands per se, or somebody like me that's looking for an app, right? And he hits those people up. He builds the app completely out in a certain period of time. Like he guarantees this app in a certain period of time, 100K, right? 200K. Right. So he's crushing it, doing 500K a month, right? On TikTok.
Right.
Right. Really so, any product or services out there, you can promote it on TikTok. You will blow your mind. And who's on TikTok and who's actually watching from the background, trying to find creators like us to promote their product. And they might be multi-billionaires, right? And seriously, that have a product line that's coming up. Hey, I want you, I'll pay you $1,000 for do one TikTok video.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Well, I'm going to place my video or my ad on your TikTok page because you have 100,000 followers, and I'll pay you $2,500 to do it and run it for 5 days. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's so much opportunity out there.
That's super exciting. Even as we talk, that really kind of like, really kind of ramps me up. But it's like, because TikTok, you can see the format. It's not really just like teenagers, like, scantily clad teenagers popping and locking anymore. It's like you can literally leverage this as a business. I mean,
100%.
People are proving that every day.
Yeah, every single day. And it's nuts. So I do have a call coming up in 3 minutes. I don't know how I got scheduled a call right at 9:30, but let's answer a few questions because I'm just going to jump from this and jump right over there to that call. But Cami here, I'll go ahead and let you answer this. Can we build a low-cost digital product after completing this program of PIB?
Yeah, well, I think that's the best part. I mean, the fundamentals for PIB allow you to leverage and promote anything. So whether it's a low cost digital product or high ticket commission, I think it's all there. It's really how you want to niche down, right? Wouldn't 100%. You say?
Yeah. And so, like by the time you get through 4 to 6 months of this, of PIB, you'll have enough knowledge and understanding and know-how to actually take your knowledge. Like if you're really good at TikTok, all of a sudden, 6 months later, and you want to build a TikTok training or you want to be a TikTok coach, because literally 6 months of in-depth mentorship is like 2 years of people working on like trying to figure it out without, right? So you'll have enough knowledge to actually produce or get a product or have that idea or that desire to say, I'm ready for it. Teach me, right? To have your own product or service for sure.
Right. There's something that anytime I start to slack or I just don't think I'm pushing enough, there's something you told me about. There's people who want it and people who think they want it to see the success. And that really rings true, man. Every time I feel as though I'm going to come up with an excuse as to maybe just push out 2 pieces of content, or I'm just not going to finish my swipes today, or I'm just not going to finish some automation text today, I'm like, wait a minute. That's somebody who's just thinking they want it. If you really want it, you'll make it happen.
100%.
So, yeah. Do you have tips on creating content? Oh, man. Tips? I think it's just, Tammy, thanks for the question. Terry, thanks for the question. I think it's just, making sure that you say things in the way in which you want to say, and then strategically saying it in the way in which you learn it. So not copy pasting things, making it your own, but still making sure it's on brand and within a strategy. You don't want to just blurt things, but like, So controlled custom strategy.
Jane needs someone to show her how to do all this, right? So I want to bring this up real quick. If you want to find Joesph online, if you go to his TikTok, it's online income Joesph. So we have 29 of you guys in here. Please go to TikTok. All you guys have TikTok accounts. Don't lie. Go to TikTok and follow Joesph. If you guys want information, he does have a buttload of information in his head. I'm telling you right now. It doesn't matter what it is, design, whatever it is, right? Affiliate marketing. Please approach Joesph on his TikTok. Screenshot this right now. 1, 2, 3. Screenshot. All right. So hit Joesph up there for sure. Now let's check out this next comment. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look at my phone real quick, and I get an instant notification that somebody jumps in my Zoom waiting. And if nobody's waiting in my Zoom, we're gonna continue this because I'm loving what's going on. All right. So let me go ahead and put this right here. I'm gonna set my phone up to see my notifications, and if anybody pops into that Zoom, I'm gonna jump in there. But this guy, truthfully, I sent him out text messages and he didn't follow up and didn't say he's gonna show up. So we'll just go with it like that. All right.
Nice.
All right. So I'm just going to set that right there. No screen timeout so I can monitor it.
That blows my mind that people won't show when they have the opportunity for
right. Well, the thing of it is, they fill out all the information. They go through all the steps up to this point, and then they're like, they're not responding to my text messages saying, hey, we're gonna have a call here in about an hour, or yesterday when I said, hey, 24 hours, there's gonna be a call with Eric Forner, and they don't respond. So whatever.
Yeah.
We just roll with it.
Yeah, that just reminds me of what we were talking about. People who want it and people who think they want it. I mean, if you really want some sort of guidance and there's an opportunity and you book that opportunity, you're going to find a way to make sure you're there for that opportunity.
Well, 100%, right? It's just how bad do you want it? Maybe that person really wants it bad at that moment because they're inspired by some content, right? But then, life takes a hold and things happen and they kind of put it on the back burner, right?
Yeah.
But eventually it's going to inspire, something's going to spark and ignite that flame because now they're in my ecosystem. Now they're in my blender of getting all these testimonials, all these case studies, right? Yeah. And they may not show up this time, but believe me, when they don't show up about 10 minutes after, they're going to get another instant notification sent out saying, hey, you missed your call. If you decide to book another call, here's the link. Right. So I'm giving them another opportunity, but either way, they'll be around. So he wants it or he doesn't.
Exactly. Yeah. Very true. Very true. I've been getting a lot of people in my DMs lately who ask this all the time, and maybe it's something that maybe I'm putting out there and maybe it's resonating with people, but the way to get past that barrier of putting yourself out there and is just, it's so difficult for so many people. And it's such a mental wall that we barricade ourselves in. And I'm noticing that there's a lot of fear in people to really do that. And that's really kind of paralyzing them and stopping them from pulling the trigger and taking action. They'll get excited that maybe they talked to me in a DM, or like your guy who booked a call. He's excited that he just opened a door of possibility, but then sometimes people will recoil and hide away from it because it's just too nervous to even start to commit to the possibility of change.
100%. And it's just one of those things is, we have to, there's a buyer's journey, right? You got to be problem aware. Right? If you don't know you're in a situation, you don't even know there's a problem. But once you become problem aware, now we got to figure out a solution, right? So now we got to become solution aware. So when we got problem aware, we got solution aware. When we become solution aware, then we got to become product aware, right? And once we become product aware, then we become resolve, right? Or destination. So that's the journey. So when we do inspire, like people don't, they'll maybe message you one time and never respond back. Well, they might be problem aware, but now it's your job to show them solution aware, right?
Right.
And then once they become solution aware, now you're putting out content that's going to give them product aware. Now they're aware of the product to become the desired outcome. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, so absolutely.
It takes about either 7 hours to get somebody the amount of desire to even click on your link, possibly. And then there's those people that are in spontaneous buyers. They'll buy something and ask for a refund because then they don't know why they bought it in the first place, right? So we just got to look at those. We have to kind of judge our content on those personalities of people. And if we put out content that triggers those emotions in those different stages of the buyer's journey, then we're gonna have a lot more people coming to us asking more questions or following up.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you? I was gonna ask you, Eric, if you don't mind. Oh wait, I saw
that
Tammy's got a question. What's your advice for someone going through stagnant time in their business?
Stagnant time in their business. So you're asking me, Tammy, or you're going to ask Joesph?
Both. How about both?
All right. Yeah. So if you're having a stagnant time in your business, go back to the basics, right? It's really because sometimes we overlook a lot of things and we get blinded by like what the basics really were, and go back to the root and the basics, right? So because sometimes we might be confusing our audience, we're not even knowing it by the content we're producing, right? Or we have to go back to the basics and restructure our DMS, our direct marketing statement on who we're trying to help and target, right? Go back to the basics and fine tune that. So once we figure out who we're trying to help, like I teach aspiring fitness trainers on how to get more clients without getting on more calls by utilizing an automated system, right? So now if through my journey, I was starting with affiliate marketing, but I've become more into the fitness stuff and I could actually motivate and inspire older women into fitness. Now I could maybe journey into that. So go back to the basics, start back with your DMS on who you really want to target and help, and then we'll figure out a solution to their problem, right? Or if you're still want to be in affiliate marketing and that's what you want to do, then still go back to the basics, look at the basics. If you have a training program, go back to the basics and go through it like you never went through it before. Go back to the basics and start from the beginning, right? It's going to be a lot easier of a transition because you already know what you know. But again, go back to the beginning, start from the basics, and then go from there. That's what I recommend for stagnant. Or take a break. Now you can take a break because you might not be focusing on one thing particular that needs to be focused on, and you're focused on 500 different things, right? So if we take a break, a lot of times we just need to regroup, recharge, right? And then we come back with a clearer mindset. Maybe we already have time to think without distraction and actually visualize our path, right? Because sometimes it gets distorted. When we're doing all this stuff, we don't know what path we're going on. So it's looking like this in front of our face all the time, right? It does. Seriously.
No, it's so
I
true.
do that myself.
So
like,
true.
Since my mentor had passed away, I got real distorted in a sense, because I not only the emotional part of it, but it was because like I didn't have any more guidance. I couldn't go to his TikTok and see what he was talking about now, because that's what inspired me to make my content, right? So I had to go back to the basics. I had to reinvest in myself, into a new mentor that's going to help me see my goals and visions. So, and again, I went back to the basics. I'm going through his training course from the beginning. I probably know a lot of it, but I'm going to implement his strategies, techniques, and move forward, right? So there's a lot of different things we can do to get past stagnation. Is that a word, stagnation?
Yeah, stagnation. You got it. You know what, Eric, the one thing that really resonates with me is the concept of like a pause or a reset. Sometimes when we're like doing our market research, you might have a plan. And this happens to me a lot. I've got like what I think I'm going to talk about, what my contact's going to be. But then I'll start to get hit with all these other affiliate marketers, and their messaging starts to warp where I thought I was going to go. And then I start to get overwhelmed. And then by the end of it, just, like 20 minutes of scrolling, it's completely obliterated what I thought I was going to do for the day, because my messaging got scrambled. And so sometimes I just want to separate myself from it, do what I set out to do, launch it, and then see how it works. But I sympathize with what Tammy was asking, because there's a level of overwhelm, and that will sort of compound the stagnation, because you don't know what to do. You're just so discombobulated, and then 2 days go by because you couldn't get your footing.
Yes, 100%. But the thing of it is, when we do go back to the basics, I think your footing will be like, you'll start realizing, maybe you'll start finding the gaps that you may have overlooked or missed. Or maybe there's one thing in part of the training, you're like, I'm not going to do that because that's not important, right? And you actually go back and implement that portion, and boom, right?
Yeah.
That's how it happens. It's how it works,
Yeah. Because there's always something you can do. If like the content's not coming to you, then I realize, wow, I could be totally working and focusing down on my campaign, my email campaign. And then, then you're focused on that, and you're not so overwhelmed and scrambled by the content stuff. I feel like you can always utilize the downtime.
Yeah, 100%. So Tammy, to kind of add on to all that, we have that 180 minutes on what to do each day in your business, right? So if that 180 minutes, that strategy of what to do in line, like step by step, if it doesn't all like in line with what your new direction is, but either way, mark down what you do for 180 minutes a day or 3 hours in your business, and set a time limit on each obstacle or each task. So if you're going to scroll TikTok for 15 minutes to do market research, that's what you do. You stop at 15 minutes, whatever data you gathered. If you gathered one video, that's what you do, right? And for your 15 minutes, then you go build content for 45 minutes. But when 45 minutes comes, it doesn't matter what you got done. You move on to the next task. But as you do that every day, you'll eventually get better and better at each of those tasks. And it's going to be a complete circle each day, right? And then you'll be able to put, market research might take 15 minutes, but you might get 5 ideas. And then it might take you 45 minutes. Instead of doing one video in 45 minutes, now you can do 3, right? So once we do that repetition over and over again, it's about the basics, right? What do I actually have to do? When I sit down in my computer, it absolutely has to be a money-driven activity, right? If I sit down at my computer and if I'm not going to be making money towards it, or if not an activity that's going to generate some kind of income, then I'm wasting my time, right? I'd rather be with my family. So if we have those direct action steps we do every single day and don't deviate from that plan, 3 hours a day, you will see a full circle in your business. I promise you, within 6 weeks. But it takes 6 weeks to create a habit. Okay. So you're going to have to do it every day. It's going to be painful for 6 weeks, or just for the new person going through this. For 6 weeks, it's going to be painful, but I promise you at the end of that 6 weeks, you're going to create a habit, right? Then it's becoming a lifestyle, right? But the first 6 weeks are the hardest.
Yeah. I love that.
It makes it easy.
Yeah. I'm glad we're still on, just so I can hear that myself. I mean, it's true. It's like, you just got to keep powering through sometimes, make that habitual. to
Yes.
start to see those results. I try to apply that all the time, and I really like how you mentioned, like, if it's not adding to your end goal, then it's wasting your time. You're right.
100%.
Yeah.
Right. If you're like in the middle of like doing something in your training and then all of a sudden you go to YouTube or you get a notification, that's taking your time away. So turn off all of your notifications, turn off your phone, silence everything on your computer. Don't have any more windows open, right? Put your phone outside, whatever it may be, whatever you have to do for that time lot, do what you have to do. Stay focused on that one thing. There's a book called The Slight Edge, right? Improving yourself 1% each day, right? Having a direct set of things you do each day. Don't deviate from the plan. Don't try to shoot for perfection every day, but just 1% of growth, right? Super good book. Jeff Olson, Slight Edge. Fire book. That's going to help with time management. That's going to help with staying motivated, staying consistent, and building that lifestyle and that schedule routine.
Yeah, for sure. Routine, man. That's why it blows your discipline blows me away, man. That you've been able to just continually pump stuff out from, content creation to training to what we're doing even here to masterminds. How you got to that level of habitual discipline is it couldn't have been easy.
It's just every day, a little bit each day.
Yeah.
Right. It's embracing my failures. Mm-hmm. Right. I look for failure each day. If I'm not looking for failure each day, I'm not trying. Right. So as long as I know that failure is the outcome of failure or success, if I go in with that mindset on everything I do each day, then I grow off of that. So that it just feeds that flame. It feeds that fire. Then when I start expressing and teaching other people, then I see their faces light up. It's building to the fire even more, right? Because I know it's working. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? So the more we put it out there, the more faces you'll see light up. The more you're working, the more it's going to inspire you to continue doing what you're doing. Mm-hmm. So if you're not showing people, telling people, making videos about what you're doing to inspire, you're not going to be inspired about what you're doing, right? If you're learning and you're in this state of learn, and not in the state of putting in action, it's never going to get done. Because typically when you go through something, you'll forget that in about 72 hours, right? If it's a strategy or a tactic and you're like, I'm going to do that tomorrow. I'm going to start that tomorrow. No, tomorrow will never come, baby. It doesn't, because that tactic and strategy is long forgotten, right? You have to go back to that strategy, go back to that lesson and implement again. So might as well just while just going through the training or whatever, implement as you go every time, regardless if you think it's going to work or not. Just do it, right? Yeah. It's whatever training course you're in, doesn't matter. You will find success in them. You will, but not as fast as some others.
Right. Yeah.
Fire, brother. This is a fire interview.
Yeah, man. Thank you. I think this has been awesome. I mean, this wasn't just sort of like just an appearance, for my own like general ego and excitement. This has been a super like learned lesson. I mean, really, it's funny. You think you have to go on and then you're just kind of trying to sell yourself or talk, but really, if people,
you sold the shit out of yourself, bro.
I wasn't even trying. But in this kind of situation, if it's a true conversation and you're really there to receive and have a back and forth, I think anybody that does this is going to walk away, with something of value.
100%. Yeah. It's proven fact that with mentorship, it not only increases your confidence, right, by 75%, but it increases the rate of growth and success by 75%, right? Yeah. So, if you're looking for a mentor, Joseph's the guy, man. I'm telling you, reach out to him, ask him questions. So do you use ClickFunnels or another funnel builder?
I do ClickFunnels. That was like our original training, and I get it. The System.io, it's cheaper and stuff like that. But my learning has been through ClickFunnels, and it seems to work. That's what's so great with like Robert. I can jump on, and we have a quick tech support, and their tech support is actually top notch. So I've stuck with them. Yeah, I mean, I get stuff solved in real time all the time with them. So yeah, I've kind of kept with ClickFunnels, even though I don't love paying that $97 a month. Their chat support is a massive recess to keep things going for me. Yeah.
So, but the thing is, like right now, ClickFunnels is paying me like $350, $400, somewhere around there. I'm close to getting to that driver thing, right?
Yeah.
But either way, but I don't even see that money come out of my account no more because they're paying me more to use their service. They're paying me to use their service now, right?
Oh wow.
But with your promotion, like right now, you're just talking about ClickFunnels and you're good with it. So anybody out there struggling with ClickFunnels, hit up Joesph because he knows ClickFunnels. Or if you guys are with another funnel builder and you would like more customer support and tech help, switch over to ClickFunnels and go with Joesph. See how I just did that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right now, you
Yeah.
can get people to jump on your ClickFunnels because ClickFunnels. We just
Right.
sold ClickFunnels for you. Now,
Right.
people that sign up for ClickFunnels, you're going to be helping them, and not only that, ClickFunnels
Right.
provides training. Now you're
Right.
going to get residual income.
Yep. Yeah. And you gotta love those subscriber based
They pay 40% commissions, 40% residual or something like that. That's freaking phenomenal. Who does that? Well, we pay 35, but I think they pay 40% recurring commissions.
Yeah, that's solid. That's solid.
Super solid.
Yeah, you're about to get that car part. That's awesome. Do you
Well,
have
probably, yeah. So I should be getting my plaque, and I should be getting that car driving thing here soon.
Sweet.
I'm hoping that's going to be, I think, the plaque before the car driving thing. But
gotcha. Yeah, yeah.
We're like 100K or so, 150K away from $1 million.
Wow, dude, can you imagine that? Now people are going to say, even when people say, hey, my 6-figure mentor, I'm like, dude, you should just at the very least say multi 6-figure. 6 figures, that's one bracket. When you can say multi 6-figure, that's a whole nother level. But you're way past that. You're straddling the $1 million fence. Can you, dude, just imagine that when you were in construction and you were in the trenches, right? Living that life. And then be able to turn around and say, yeah, so he quit and became a millionaire. Just that sentence alone. Like how satisfying, like you won life.
While on parole. I'm still on probation.
Yeah, dude, that's
for my DUIs.
Eric, I will say this, working with you and your mentorship has even crushed so many stereotypes and biases in my own head. Like, the fact that you're very open about your past and however checkered it could be or however rough it was, you, without a doubt, are one of the most, and I'm not just trying to blow smoke here because we're doing this live, you're one of the most big-hearted, selfless people that I have truly ever met. I mean, I don't know what you're like off camera. Maybe you're a scary guy, right? But like,
I'm kind of an asshole a little bit.
Yeah. But I will tell you this, in this relationship, you do nothing but help. So, whatever your stories are about parole and jail and all that, that's one part of your life, but there is a whole nother redeeming aspect of life where you have helped a lot of people. And the fact that you can turn around and be like, yeah, I was busting my ass. I had a rough life. Now I'm a millionaire. Just that sentence alone as your own personal biography is such a win. Yeah, I think that's what everybody's trying to strive for in doing this. They want that win. They want a slight revenge on life that's been very difficult on them.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you.
100%. Everybody can win. Everybody can do this. I promise you. I'm no different than anybody else. I'm no brighter, no smarter, no prettier, no uglier, no whatever. We're all the same, and we all have a position in a spot. So I just want to let you just let you guys all know that.
Yeah, Robert says, "Quick construction became a millionaire." That's your book title right there.
That's I've had 3 people already from one bigger book company approach me and ask me if I could write a book on my story, my life.
Yeah,
but they want me to write the damn book. I don't have the time to write the book. Right. So I just find somebody to tell the book to write it for me. But they're going to be sending me some more information. But they want me to give me a life. And then from they said the book. Once I start advertising that, either Netflix will come or something like that. So they've been emailing me in regards to getting a book done and a Netflix series or some kind of special show about my story, my life.
Yeah, that's nuts. That's super cool.
I just don't have the time. I keep blowing them off.
Just go to Fiverr, get a ghostwriter.
I need to.
Yeah,
I keep blowing them off, brother. I just don't have the time right now. Maybe in the next 5 years. But truthfully, to write a book, your energy level has to be at a certain position.
Yeah.
Right. You have to be at a certain place in your life with who you are, with your time, in order to produce a good book. Seriously, right? Especially on your life, right? Because you have to make time for it. You have to dedicate yourself to it. You have to, and I'm not ready to dedicate myself to writing a book right now.
Soon. Yeah.
Maybe
Well,
a couple years.
I don't know how people have that. I mean, you really got to be, that's a whole nother level of running a business and then, doing a autobiography.
Right. So soon.
Very cool. That would be nuts. I mean, we've kind of watched the movie already. We've watched, I mean, if you were with Eric from the beginning, you saw, I mean, remember you were paying off some of your, where did you go? You get dropped $10,000. You paid it off live right there.
I went to the bank and picked up 10 or 7K cash or whatever it was. Yeah. And then I went to the courthouse and I paid off my fines.
I mean, that's the win situation everybody's trying to go for. People have gotten a rough, card dealt, or they're struggling, to be able to know that there is a route. And this has really leveled the playing field. That of all things that PAB has taught me is that it has leveled the playing field for everyone. people like me who are having to jockey for position at an ad agency and, please your creative directors, please your clients, and, everybody else that's jockeying for position, trying to climb a ladder, that they're no longer stuck in an income bracket. You don't have to be at the mercy of your boss or your manager's good mood or bad mood. You come on this, you learn these fundamental rules and techniques, strategies, and methods, and you no longer are at the mercy of these employers or at these corporations. It's crazy. Or in your regard, you're probably a shitty construction boss.
Yeah, and there's always some kind of construction that was cold, shitty conditions, always gone from home.
Yeah.
So no matter what job you're in, there's always some kind of condition that you have to deal with, and it's not on your own, your own direction, right? Somebody else is telling you to do it each day.
Right.
And I know, to think about it, I don't miss it, right? Getting told what to do. But then, I understand how it could be hard for people to go from that position to actually punching your own clock, to show up on your own dime.
Yeah.
Right. And so you're not, who's holding you accountable, right?
Right.
So that's when a mindset coach comes in, because that's what my next investment is a mindset coach. Right. You're talking about, working for the man, punching that clock. But, when it comes down to it, trying to, I guess, run a company or a corporation now, or I guess, because we are S Corp, it's hard to punch your own clock, but you have to have that mindset, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Accountability, 100%. Discipline, and resourcefulness. I think that's what scares a lot of people, is how you have to be really scrappy and resourceful. I mean, again, your situation to me is like epitomizes that. You have to be scrappy enough to make sure that you're going to build out this result in this life that you're really shooting for. But lots of people, they might do it. They might actually invest it into doing that. They just don't know how. So they've got to be really scrappy to find a way and then to implement that way, which is what
right. They have to build up that spunk, right? They have to build up that edge about, what their direction is, and have conviction. So once you have conviction about what you're doing, so will other people, they'll be more in line to understand or follow as well. Right. But it's just finding that conviction, and actually believing in what you're doing. If you believe in something, you're going to have full conviction of it.
Yeah. Man, speaking of being at the mercy of an employer, I've got to bounce for a meeting.
Yeah, me too. Well,
it's one of those.
Nobody showed up on my Zoom call because I have my phone still open, and I'll get a notification like right here. I got one that says Zoom person in my meeting. So nobody showed up during this live, which is okay. I'm glad I did not end it. We're gonna go ahead and end it now. But did you go to college for your designing skills by any chance?
I did. I did. I went for graphic design and photography. Then I evolved into advertising and became an art director in advertising. But then I kind of saw the writing on the wall with digital design, UI, UX, and I pivoted to that, which was really, really advantageous. And it was, it's just serendipity. But like right when COVID hit, I had just pivoted to UI, UX, and then all these companies wanted this digital transformation. And then UI UX became this huge in-demand, high-skill, So that's kind of how I've gotten this position. And again, it goes back to the fact that now I'm remote, getting paid way more than I was in advertising. And I wasn't getting paid poorly in advertising, but I'm just getting, because this is a skill that is in demand right now, and not everybody's doing it. Not everybody's designing apps and things like that. And the world is becoming rapidly digital and like at an extreme pace. It's in high demand, but it's certainly changed my life, but it's given me the opportunity to now be able to focus and utilize my spare time doing stuff like this.
It's awesome. So I did go to college, but it kind of grew from there for sure. So if you guys want to find Joesph, go ahead to his TikTok. It's Online Income Joesph. Super cool dude. As you guys can see, you guys watch this live or hashtag live or replay. Either way, go check him out on TikTok. Pick his brain if you're into any of the things that he said or currently doing, or inspired by what he's doing from home, or inspired what he's doing right now. Hit him up. Pick his brain a little bit. See what he's got to offer you guys. All right. So other than that, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much, Joesph, for coming on the show and just having a great show today. All in all, man. I'll go ahead and let you take us out with some kind words or some inspiration or something.
Well, no, just keep plugging away, keep punching, keep pushing forward. You will see, get face on that discomfort. And I think you'll start to see that it's always worth your time.
100%.
Eric, I want to thank you, and thank you for your mentorship, man.
No problem,
Really.
brother. I'm here to serve, brother. It inspires me to keep moving forward. Thank you again for jumping on, and I'm sure we'll do this again, brother. You have a blessed day.
You too.
All right. All right, guys, that wraps up another show, episode 23 to be exact. 24 will be on Friday at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you guys want access to that show, please go ahead and get your text message. Let me get rid of this banner real quick here. Right here. There we go. So go ahead and text GOATs, all capital letters, to 21,000, and you will get instant notifications for our GOAT shows, what just happened right now on Tuesdays and Fridays. All right. So tomorrow night, we also have the part 2, the second secret, live right here in the Facebook group at 8 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you attend that, share it. Let's go, guys. You guys crush the rest of this week. I'll see you tomorrow night. Much love and respect. Peace out. You guys have a good day. Keep crushing it, man. Take 1% action each day. Peace.